Hello, once again, Strat fans. It's me, Colonel Strat. I'm back here today to show you another tactic. So this one is used by the vampire accounts. I call it Blob and Wind. Now, what it entails is, you see, we're using all these trash units, these skeleton warriors. You know, maybe pretty much skeleton warriors or zombies could work depending on your faction. I'm playing with Vlad right now because in a simulated battle, he's probably best for the tactic, but I actually would argue that Gorst would be best in a campaign sometimes with his zombie buffs. But anywho, skeletons, warriors, or zombies could work for this. And what you want to do is just blob the enemy, and then you use Wind of Death to like wind them and kill them. And now this tactic isn't as powerful as it used to be. You have to win them a couple times to actually win the battle, and you will lose a couple vampire units. But because of how they play, it's not too bad of a loss because you can just recruit them anywhere on the map. So I usually keep a couple necromancers on corpse carts if I can, for that extra healing buff to them while they're fighting. And then just to deal with the enemy range, I have some fellbats to disrupt them, because you want to disrupt their range as the vampires. So let's get into the battle. Alright, so I'll send Vlad out here with this force, and now when we're playing in a simulated battle, you don't have as much winds of magic either that you can spam Wind of Death. So like in an actual battle, if I were playing Gorst, I would have had so much winds of magic that I could just spam Winds of Death as soon as the enemy made contact with them, with my lines. So I'm using Vlad as a sponge here to kind of absorb, because his Karstein Ring ability is so awesome. And I'm pulling him back so he doesn't take damage from the spell, because it does damage your own units, so you have to make sure you aim it right. Alright, so we make sure we have the Necromancer up to boost the guys up, and then we just sustain the melee, and we do a Wind of Death. Now we're Blob, and then we win them. Does a hefty amount of damage, a nice chunk of damage, back and forth, and that already is helping us win the battle, the engagement. Send the fellbats over so that they can disrupt the enemy's archers and artillery, hopefully. Over here, this side is going to be a lot more of a slog because the bigger part of the forces is, but again, like I said, in a simulated battle, we don't have enough winds of magic to do a Wind of Death each. But normally, if you have two necromancers, you'll have so much winds of magic because of their recharge ability that you'll just be able to spam it. And also, you can spam more blobs like zombies, or if you're playing Gorst, you can even spawn Graveguard. So that is also very helpful. And of course, Vlad is a very good melee hero, so you want to get him into the thick of it. But so we've already won this combat here. They've already pulled back, even though they are still attacking here. We're sending our fellbats to deal with them, even though they're being attacked by these guys in the rear. And then our guys here will be able to move forward and break the lines on this side. So we've already crumbled one side of the front because of that tactic, because using it at first. It's really effective because Wind of Death is still pretty powerful, even though it's been nerfed recently. So it still does help when we push the balance of power into our favor as well. And now we're going to do another Wind of Death here finally to do some damage here. Doesn't do as much damage as we had hoped, but it does do enough that it puts them into wavering, and it helps us break the line here and stabilize it a little bit, because their lord is wreaking havoc on the line itself. Now we're able to push back. The enemy countered our fellbats and got them. So we have to push back up here. And again, vampire units, most of them are very slow. Like these skeleton warriors, very slow. So you're going to want to like close the gap and maintain that gap closed, or else you're going to suffer. Alright, so we've lost. We're going to lose both of these fellbat units, but that's okay. They were expendable. And then Vlad's going to go after these swordsmen. This necromancer can't be caught out. And we're just, it's basically, it's a big slog. Because again, in normal battles, most likely on the campaign map, if you pick Gorst or you pick Kemmler, you're going to have a lot of magic power reserve that you're going to be able to spam this way more. It's just, in a simulated battle, Vlad works the best because he can, he has access to it and he's a powerful fighter himself. So, that's why I picked Vlad for a simulated battle. Even though I would normally pick Gorst or Kemmler. Probably Gorst because of his zombie buffs, and the zombies are cheaper, more cost effective, and they get more buffs than Kemmler buffs and his stuff. Right, so we basically crumbled this line over here. We're just waiting for another chance to use Wind of Death. See, we pop that recharge. That's what those things are. We're able to recharge more. And unless we pop another Wind of Death, yep, right here, it'll do some more damage. Not as much again, but it does damage to all of these ones. So that now, overall, the line here is more favorite to us. And then we can send these guys over here to flank and end the battle. Again, because we have the Unholy Lodestone and we're Wind of Deathing, we're able to re-heal our casualties while killing the enemy's casualties. Killing more enemies. So we're able to heal because of the Unholy Lodestone, healing our troops up, even though they are taking damage, especially from the Lord. It's tricky when there's, when you don't have a lot of fast units and the enemy has ranged units. That's when it's tricky for this tactic. But if you bring a couple fast units or your Helm and Gorst, you're not going to worry about this in the campaign because it's going to be working so much better. It is a great tactic though. It's really good to for the vampires, especially in the early game. Because if you can get hands on Wind of Death early, like I could get it like turn 10, maybe as Vlad. You reach level 7 or 8, and you're able to get up through that skill tree, maybe even more. Then you're going to be able to do a lot of damage early on. All right, so now we're going to, now that line's crippled over there, Vlad is dealing with the ranged over here while we're taking our skeletons, and I'm going to flank here. I believe I get one more Wind of Death in.
Behold the silver hammer.
One more Wind of Death in to help. You see how the lodestone here is keeping our undead alive, but they are still crumbling. They'll crumble without doing some Wind of Death. And there we go. It goes through there, and it does go through our guys a little bit, which does not help us, and in fact will cause one unit to die. But we still did a lot of damage to them, enough to like waver the rest of their army. And then with the reinforcements coming in, now they're finished. They're finished. Yep, now they're starting to run. And that's how you do it, Strat fans. So that was that was Blob and Wind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little strat, and I hope you guys get to use it in your playthroughs. And again, like I said, the best ones that do this are the Necromancer heroes, like Kemmler and Gorst. Kemmler and Gorst, they do it the best. They're the best at it, even though the vampires, Manfred and Vlad and Isabella can still do it. But Gorst and Kemmler are the best for this, especially with their low tier infantry. You can just swarm the enemy, Wind of Death them, and outlast them. So without further ado, Strat fans, that'll do it for today. Keep it strategic. Colonel out.